Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High Top Sports. Happy Monday to all of you. This show is brought to you today by Prize Picks. We got a good one in store. We're going to talk about a lot. Kelby Collins, where's he been? Where's old Collins? Air in the Night by Phil Collins. That's what I was going to try to do a little intro with that one, but I dropped the ball completely. Then we're going to talk about DJ Lagway, Graham Mertz, obviously the Civil War drama that will be occurring for the next 4 to 5 days. Although we do get some confirmation from Billy Napier, unless something crazy happens over the next week. Champs Corner will be here, of course, with Mr. Stephen Harris to break down some film. I also dive in to break down a little bit of film for you guys as well. But be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. We're almost at 22,000 subs, like 120 away, which is absolutely incredible. Going to do a giveaway this week as well. Going to give away some signed memorabilia, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that on how to win, how to enter, all of that good stuff today. But sit back, relax, let's have ourselves a Monday, and let's dive right into it. So first order of business, good to see you. We had Billy Napier's presser today. Didn't get much, but we did get a little history lesson from Billy Napier and co. I think it was Edgar that asked the question, and then it got me doing some digging. Levi Lewis was the quarterback for Billy Napier's entire tenure at Louisiana. Freshman in 2017, then a sophomore in 2018, which was Napier's first year at Raising Cajuns, which that's where they started doing the back and forth with Lewis. And then Levi took over from 19 to 2021. And then, of course, Napier ends up at Florida in 2022. Very interesting to think about that this young man right here basically surged his career into where Napier is today. So Edgar kind of brought that up and basically like, hey, are we going to see similar usage of Napier to what you did with Levi, right? And he goes, yeah, basically that's how we're going to manage his process. And then he kind of alluded to the fact that look how much it benefited, because Levi went on to, I think the next year threw for like 3,800 yards. Then it was like 27, but that was COVID. And then it was like 29, or then it was 2,000, excuse me. Then it was 27, 29 his last few years. So just under 3,000 mark with a 60% completion rate. I saw he played for the Seahawks at one point, but I didn't look any further than that. But it was interesting because you kind of got a little bit of a blueprint, I guess you could call it, on what is expected on DJ and how they plan to handle DJ. Again, we all had our thoughts and opinions and hypotheses on how he should be utilized, right? We keep thinking the Leak to Tebow era on how he comes in. I don't know if it's going to be like that. When asked about it today, again, Mertz will be getting the nod come Saturday, if not in concussion protocol. I think he has one more test to pass. And look, as much as I've been, and we're going to talk about this throughout the entire time. You know where I stand on it. I believe DJ Lagway should come in. I can see the other side very clearly, though. I'm not this one that's going to raise the pitchforks, although, I mean, give it time. Maybe we'll see come the day of. But, I'm not saying that Mertz is a dead body, right? He's not just some piece of meat walking out there. I think Mertz still is a very reliable quarterback. There's just something special about DJ Lagway, which we'll allude to in just a minute. But my point to this, let me put my notes up here because, again, when asked about it, he kind of, like I said, gave us the blueprint on how he's going to manage it. He's going to manage how he managed Levi. So his sophomore campaign, which is Billy's first year, because he kind of, in a sense, redshirted, I think, his freshman year. So he didn't have a true freshman year. His sophomore is similar to DJ's, I would say, freshman year. And so had that transition, then it goes on to be extremely successful. I love that. I love that you have a blueprint. There's one thing that I would say that's a little different. DJ Lagway's Gatorade Player of the Year. DJ Lagway's a 5-star recruit. DJ Lagway is DJ effing Lagway, right? There's no shot against Levi Lewis here, but this is DJ Lagway. This is a generational quarterback that had turning heads all weekend long. I don't think Levi Lewis turned many heads at his time at Raising Cajuns. Probably a little bit, not much. Not much. And again, this isn't a shot. I'm not trying to take any shots on Lewis. He's a great kid. we're talking. But this is the thing here is like, look, I love you've got a blueprint. I love you got a template. But sometimes blueprints need to be adjusted. And this is something, here's why I know it won't be adjusted. Out of the following Billy for the last 3 years, the things that I've complimented him on, we can see that I've turned wave on him because I know he won't, because he's stuck to his guns and his path this entire time. He goes in with a playbook, with a method to a game. He could be down 15 and he'll still stick to the same process instead of adjusting to what's happening, which is like the best thing, good thing. Right now it's a lot of negative. And so that's why it concerns me is that he's not going to adjust out of, his rhythm. And then it begs the question, is his job really even altered? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem that he's operating in the sense of his back's against the wall. I wrote it down at the bottom here. I said, you got to give Billy credit. I can't tell if he's got 2 weeks till he's introducing Lane Kiffin to his new office, or if he's getting an extension soon. Like, I wouldn't know by looking at the guy. And that's a compliment, because the guy operates cool as a cucumber, and literally the entire office building behind him is on fire. And he's, you know what? We're going to take a look at that, and we're going to reevaluate that here in just a minute. I know it looks hot and everything's burning right now, but once we get back and look at the film, you'll see we're going to grow on this. You know what I mean? So, but look, it at least gave us, I think, it may not be the answer that we want, but at least we can you can go take a look at Levi's career path, his style of, how he impacted the game in 2018, and see how DJ is now. I truly believe, you have to think if Mertz comes out and looks rattled, starts making some poor decisions, I promise you the boo birds are going to come out. I'm not saying that you should be, as a coach, influenced by your audience, but if you're in the swamp, 90,000 strong, lifeline, okay, somebody's throwing you a raft, Jack, you better grab it, okay? That raft is DJ Lagway, all right? So that's all I got to say about that. Let's talk about the Lagway effect. So, a lot of questions going into Lagway, the things that he did. A thing that kept being brought up was the fact that we had 6 plays over 30 yards compared to 14 plays over 30 yards all of last year. We had half of that in one game with DJ Lagway. And Billy was punching air, and I understand it, because it was basically just a hype fest for DJ Lagway and how he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And the entire time you've got Billy trying to just temper emotions and keep things in check, and like, he's great, but let's not get carried away. That Anthony Richardson guy, he's got a great arm. Let's not get crazy. I get it. I appreciate it. Whatever. It's DJ effing Lagway. Okay. I'm not touching that. I'm not going to believe you. I'm not biting the bullet here. He talked about how DJ was forcing into coverage, right? Lucky on one of the plays that he did force it into coverage, there was a DPI called. And I thought about this, right? Because when you think about him saying, he was forcing the throw, I think that's him trying to temper expectations a little bit. But also, I think about him forcing that throw, where maybe Mertz takes the check down, throws it to the tight end for 2 to 3 yards, and then we're looking at a 3rd and 2 situation. We call a wildcat and don't get it anyways. So, or you have DJ Lagway. It's like, look, it's 2nd and 7, right? We're 2nd and 5. We're in reasonable position. I'm gonna sling one down there. I feel confident in that. And I think there's 2 parts to this. One, you get in this kind of with Mertz in this play calling, because Mertz, in my opinion, has that Indian mindset where I'm just going to follow the rules and play by the book, which is fantastic. And this is what I go back to saying DJ Lagway is a gamer. We're going to look at some film here in just a minute where it kind of defends that mindset of, I don't mind the force. I don't mind the big throw down the football field every now and then. And maybe because we haven't had a turnover in quite some time, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay getting burned, but we get a DPI. So, and if you trust yourself enough to make that throw, I like that as well too. You also keep your wide receivers alert. They're constantly being thrown to. Again, I felt like it was him trying to, temper expectations of, like, he got lucky because a DPI was called. Did he get lucky, or did he see, hey, this guy's strapped all over my wide receiver, this is a freebie, right? Like, that's where my head's at. Now, that's my optimistic vision thinking of DJ Lagway. Something else, again, they talked about route running seemed a lot better. And I go, yeah, the route running was better because these guys are taking off knowing there's a very good chance I might get one here. Versus they know when Mertz is back there, it's like, look, 3 seconds in, he's going to read it and not feel comfortable and dunk it down to either the curl route or the slant route or the bubble screen. That's where it's going to end up going 87% of the time. So what's the point of running this play? Problem with that is, and again, that's you can hate on the wide receivers and say, well, why are they not running through their routes? They should do it every single time. I get it. But you get tired, okay? You get tired of like you're running knowing damn well you're not going to get it. With Lagway, these boys were like, yo, we get out here. Buddy's not afraid to sling it. Let's go get it. Let's go get some. We're going to break down the film to the Aiden Mizell touchdown where it encompasses that, right? Where it's like, if I cut it loose, he's going to throw it to me. And we'll talk about that entire breakdown. It's incredible by Gators Nation Football Podcast, which that guy is an absolute G. If you guys haven't checked him out, we'll talk about him a little bit more later. But again, it just kind of got me in this thought process of like, this is the effect of Lagway. This is again what supports my idea on why I believe, and a lot of you believe, that he should start. Right? It's that Lagway effect. What he does to the pieces around him, how he just elevates everybody around him. And look, I think people like Mertz. I think he's a great guy. In a way, he encompasses what Billy is. Love the guy. Feel like he's got the heart of a Gator in him for sure. He proved that last year. But at the same time, there's just something about DJ Lagway. You felt it on the football field. I mean, that guy's a true freshman. Just think about how he looked as a true freshman. And I know some of you are going to say right now it's Sanford, but my goodness, just the way that he carried himself Saturday was something impressive. Boys and girls, 305 strong. Smash the like button. Let YouTube know that you guys are here rocking and rolling. Helps the algo. Lets them know that we're doing a good job and you guys are appreciating the content. I know you guys do, so I appreciate you very much so. So, talked about Lagway effect. We talked about, obviously, who is getting the start, which, again, will be Mertz, unless there's still a concussion. But, like I said, I'm okay with it. And I talked about this on Sunday's show. Billy Napier and I, we're in the, he cheated on me, right? And so we're in the middle of, I don't know if I want to get a divorce or work through this. You know what I mean? It's at a point where he cheated on me so bad that he filmed it and sent it to me. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even with a hotter chick, Like, you could kind of understand it if the person that you got cheated on with, it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. You know what I mean? But it was somebody just in the complete gutter. And you're like, I don't even, like, what? How does that even happen? You know what I mean? So, if you're gonna cheat, at least do it with somebody hotter, Billy. Then I can have a little more understanding. But we're so far at the point where it's like you're hurting me, you're crushing my soul, and so that's where I'm at. And so it's hard for me to trust and buy into any of the thought process here. Look, if anybody thought that DJ Lagway was gonna get the start, even my mom, she sent me the clip from RG3 talking about how he should get the start, and I go, yeah, but it's gonna be Mertz. She goes, dumbass. Mama taking strays at Billy. That's where we're at. So, look, I mean, I'm okay with it, but I think the decision needs to be quick. Need to be able to watch it quick. Make a decision on, hey, that he's just it's exactly what it was week 1. I know there's a lot of talk about the Texas A&M defense, which we'll talk more on Wednesday with Swolder, preparing for that game, previewing that game. We'll definitely do more of that come Wednesday, so be sure to check that out as well. But let's talk about I want a divorce. Been with him till Miami. I love it. Let's talk about this. Kelby Collins. Where's Kelby? Not many snaps in game 1. Not too many snaps in game 2. We know what he did as a freshman. His freshman camp play coming off the edge was an electric player to watch. He was our top recruit from that 2022 class, 23 class, I believe. Yeah, because last year was his freshman campaign. So his top recruit for us, right behind or right in front of Eugene Wilson. I think Eugene got a lot of bump at the end there, but again, huge impact. Makes the transition to interior defensive line because that F spot, I believe, was filled up with the likes of Sapp and of course Boone and LJ McCray. Okay with the transition, puts on some more weight, looks great. But then asked about it today, like, where is Kelby been? And it was interesting because what he had to say was basically, he's still learning that position. He did transition. He kind of said all those things, still figuring out, learning to use his hands more technique. And it goes back to an interview that we had with Princely. We had Princely Umlalan on the show before he traded. Was a trader. And when we asked about Kelby, how is Kelby? What's he doing? He goes, man, this he's a freak. He's great, but he's too explosive in the sense that he's just running north and south. And I think that's why he did so well at the edge. They just kind of plucked him out there and say, go get it. Where that interior defensive line, got to be more technique. Got to swoop by, got to hold, look, peek, go, right? We talked about that with Stephen Harris plenty of times. And I think there's a massive adjustment there that is, that he's working through. Not that he's having trouble with, but that's a massive change than what you go for where it's just, I'm just going north and south, bulldozing cats too. All right, got to have a little more hand technique, got a little more, patience with it versus just weight, power, boom. So that's what I picked up with Billy Napier's interview. Again, we've seen Big Dez get a lot of starts. Cam Jackson, obviously, with the interior line. Cam Banks, even with Joey Slackman being out, didn't see too much of Kelby Collins in the last 2 weeks. So hopefully there's some, we can have some growth over the next few weeks and see more of him. I know we as fans, we always want to look for the next guy of like, where's Kelby? Where's Kelby? Why isn't this guy playing? He's a 4-star recruit. And then he goes back to the question, like, well, was it a good move? I mean, I don't know at this point. I'm so lost with development and whatnot because we keep moving guys around. We draft him for this, for that. Hopefully things are coming along the right way and we see him make some progress and really take over that position. But I know there was a lot of people in the comment section asking about him. And then, of course, they did ask about him as well. There was some conversation as well about offensive line, the rotation on that. Again, Austin Barber, one of our highest rated on PFF offensive linemen, not getting many snaps. I think he was like 24 snaps on Saturday or something like that. Devin Manuel, I think, had one less or the same amount as him. Crenshaw played left tackle a few times, which was his position at San Diego State, which we've talked about on this show before. So we moved him back to right tackle. Basically, Napier was like, yeah, we're just trying anything, which I don't mind. At least you're trying something. I think that's the biggest thing we've kind of complained about. It's like, can we just try something different? And it feels like they're finding a little bit of rhythm. I saw Waits play guard a few times this past game, which I think he was a little bit better at the guard position. George was at guard. Najee Harris, obviously. Najee and Jake are the only two that seem to be consistent. Crenshaw keeps getting bats back and forth. Devin Manuel seems to be doing good when he is in the game. I don't know why we just can't have the two guys that we brought in, Emmanuel, Crenshaw, and Barber, all in kind of the rotation, and then Waits, maybe, and George rotating that guard. Again, it's so wishy-washy. It's hard to get a true identity right now on that offensive line. And that begs the question of, like, how do we not see this early on, right? Because when, Dave sent that tweet out, Waters, about the right side being a concern, it felt like they were just kind of locked in on, hey, these are the guys on the right side. We're just trying to figure out which one's better. Now it's like, these guys are just atrocious. Let's just keep moving shit around and let's see what works. Why didn't we do that 6 weeks ago? And maybe they did. These things I will never know. These things, the offensive line and Rob Sells, I have major question marks. That's part of where this ugly cheating divorce scandal is in full place, because I was fully bought in on, hey, we're taking 3-star offensive linemen, but we're going to see a ton of development. Yet here we are, not much development. So, I don't know. We got a super chat here, boys and girls, from Shaka Ginyard. $5 says, Lagway should start. Billy is out of time. Miami game swallowed up Billy's goodwill. He's got to show urgency, and Lagway will give him some leash. I mean, beautifully said. Swallowed up. What did he say? Swallowed up Billy's goodwill. I love that. That's true. Kind of cashed it all in on that Miami game. That's a perfect way of just. I mean, there's so many great analogies of how we feel about this entire situation as of lately. Muddy says, dude, I want Kearney and or Lovett at right guard. George is terrible. Guy can't even block Stanford players. Yeah, and again, if my question is, I was like, if okay, these guys aren't getting the start, are they worse? You know what I mean? I mean, what if they're that much better? We keep calling for it, but maybe they're not better. Maybe this is our best option, which is even scarier to me because we've heard about the depth. There's a lot of question marks. 350 strong. Champs Corner is about to tune in here in just a moment. Let me roll the intro, and then we're going to talk about prize picks here with the man himself. But let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. Oh, you calling a different line, Mr. Harris?
See me.
There we
go.
Ooh, we got a new setup. My man got his own YouTube channel now. Let's go, baby.
I appreciate you, boss. You know,
yeah,
you're
man.
I thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for everything you do.
Tell them where they can find you on the YouTube, man. I know you were watching the live party against Stanford, so they can keep up with you.
Yeah, YouTube channel, just famous. It's an acronym, so F.A.M.O.U.S. It's an acronym, stands for Faith Allows Me Optimism Under Stress. So, yeah, it's my page.
I love it, man. Well, I'm happy that you're rock and rolling on that page. I think if fans get a different perspective of you, I think it's fantastic. I know you're doing the watch party. Answer a lot of questions in the chat, which is cool. It's a different field than what we get to do here. We're business here, okay? We're professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're suit and ties when we're on this show.
I commend you for being able to do what you do, man. That was my first experience by myself. I look back, I say 3 hours. Oh my God, the time flies, but it's a lot. But when you got the fans in there, and they're interacting with you, it make it a lot more easier and a lot more fun. So I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, man. The chat makes it. Dude, the call-in shows they get rolling when people are chit-chatting. You're going back and forth. It can get crazy. Let's do this. I want to talk about Prize Picks really quick. Obviously, this show is brought to you by Prize Picks today. I don't know where we went, but there we
Prize
go.
pick.
What's up? Look, Mr. Stephen Harris is an absolute king at Prize Picks, but let's talk about them really quick. This is tonight's lineup, but it's already butchered with Christian McCaffrey being out, but that's okay. You know what's funny is this
Wow.
works out perfectly because Prize Picks allows, I don't know what the actual word is. I'm going to read this for you, but if somebody gets hurt or somebody doesn't make a start, they've kind of have basically
DNP.
insurance for you.
Yeah.
Which is pretty handy if I do say so myself. Let me get to the thing here.
I think it's a DNP. Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, Prize Picks puts the members first list, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money as fast as quick 15 minutes. That's not what I wanted. Oh, there it is. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so that your lineup stays in play event, even if one player of your player gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks, your picks are still live. So even though we've got McCaffrey here, he's not even playing at all. So this lineup.
Yeah, it'll take you down to a 3-man lineup. So they'll just essentially make it as if you didn't pick that guy, and they'll just judge you off the 3 other ones.
Which is really cool because there's been plenty of times where you lock in a pick and then you're stuck with it. So look, I mean, Prize Picks fantastic. You pick 2 or more, 2 to 6 options. That's how it's going to rock and roll with you guys. We've been rock and roll with them for the last week. It's been fun. I've had a good time. I haven't won anything. I've gotten close. I've won I think 4, which I give you a little bit of your money back when you get 4 out of the 5 or whatnot. But boys, download the Prize Pick app today. Use the code HIGHTOP and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code HIGHTOP on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. So we love them. We're hoping to, if you guys continue to download it and use code HIGHTOP, they'll tag along and we can be purple Prize Pick all season long, which will really fire me up because it's fun. I really enjoy playing that aspect of it. But
it's dope setup, different than any other app I've used as far as how you can win. They kind of pull you together with people. So I like it because if you can lose one and still win, there's not
that's
any
the
other
cool part of it.
it.
Well, listen, man, I wanted to get your thoughts on this before we get into the film talk. Right on time, like you said you would. I appreciate you. Obviously,
Yes,
you've tweeted about the DJ Lagway. We saw what he did on Saturday, and look, I've always talked to you because you played in that Leak and Tebow-esque era. I think Leak brought a way different impact to the game than what Mertz has shown us thus far. I mean, Leak threw a ball better than anybody. I believe he holds the record for most passing yards in college in Florida Gator history, even still, for all time. So that's a big difference there. But what is your takeaway, man? I mean, does he start? Or if he doesn't start, are you okay with that? I mean, give us your perspective on it.
I'm glad. Well, I would love to be making the money to make these decisions, but I don't get paid the type of money they do to make these decisions. And this one is a tough one for the coach. You got a veteran in Mertz who had a great year by all accounts last year. Not a year we were expecting. No one expected him to have the year he had. And so you think about that coming into this year and you're like, okay, I got a veteran, year 2 in the system. Everything should be great. And, Miami was a tough challenge. First opponent coming out the gate. Offenses always start off kind of slow. So you got to kind of give Mertz that little bit of leeway. But he got hurt. And then you get Lagway, who everybody been raving about, and he comes in and he lights it up, man. Like I haven't seen before by a true freshman because we haven't. He had the most yards by a true freshman ever at the quarterback position. And it was amazing to see just dynamics that he brings to the game, just his ability to run the ball if he takes off with it. So that changes everything as a defensive coordinator when you're trying to prepare for them. And as a player, it changes the way you rush and stuff like that from a defensive line perspective. So I like having Lagway as a quarterback, as a starter. He's still young. We're about to get into the meat of our schedule, playing SEC competition and stuff like that. So you're kind of cautious right there. But every traditional method that we've tried so far that I believe would happen has been wrong. So for me, I'd rather try something unconventional right now and start him and see what he has. I know people say, oh, we played Sanford, but even to me, if Mertz was have started against Sanford, he doesn't throw for that many yards. The game is managed a little bit different, and any other starting quarterback around the league probably doesn't do what he did. Not saying they couldn't, but he had a phenomenal game in the way he throw the ball, the touch on the ball, the accuracy. It was fantastic, and that's hard to deny. And I would like to ride the wave and ride them into the game, but I don't put it past our coach. He's evaluated guys, and so I don't put it past that we start Mertz. And like you said, I listened to the show a little bit earlier. If things get rocky, you're so comfortable to bring Lagway in. You know what I mean? To give us that much of a comfort level. And for me, if we do start Mertz, whatever packages we had for Lagway, we see them a lot sooner, and the packages have now expanded. So that's a great thing for me, and we can kind of work the system. I wouldn't be mad. Mertz is a senior. Things happen, you get hurt. And I wouldn't want to see his senior year in a bad way, or just in with him sitting down just like that. So I think we try to do right by him, but the leash is short. It's very short. It's
Look,
very
I think
short,
we should be excited
and that
because
way
look,
role should be increased a lot.
and if Mertz comes in and handles business, here's the pro. Mertz gets it figured out, and we still have DJ Lagway coming in for packages and
God.
as a backup, right? That's where I think if I want to be optimistic about this, which I usually like to play that side, like that is the pro of like, look, there is no negative of not starting DJ Lagway. And I talked about it in the last show, and I'm going to continue to emphasize the DJ's faith. I know it. I don't think you don't find it cheesy. I know, and I don't find it cheesy. But some may find like this is cheesy. But my reason I keep bringing that up is like it's the mindset of this young man. And look, going back to Tebow, that just undeniable faith. Like we all have faith, but there's levels to it. Okay, and there's just you see it. You saw it in Tebow, and you see it in DJ Lagway. To where and I said this on Sunday's show, the more pressure, which we consider pressure, right? If you have that faith, you realize there is no such thing as pressure because God took all that pressure off when he died on the cross for us, and that's their mindset, true to their core. And so for me, that's where it's like, oh, he's gonna get overwhelmed, he's gonna get this and that. I agree with you 98% of the time, but when you've got someone like a DJ Lagway, they're an anomaly. Where the more pressure you put on them, which we call pressure, they're going to shrine because they're going to get closer to their faith, they're going to get closer to God, and it's just going to allow them to be themselves. And that's a dangerous place to be from the opposite side of the football field. So I keep bringing it up because it's something very powerful. Like, and I've told you the story that I had him interviewing with him. So it's
it's a great, they say when you don't know, it's a great opportunity for God to show up. So you know what I mean? I like him being out there. He does well under pressure. He's a gamer, and he got them pads on. You know what I mean? He's a big kid, and he's fast. So anytime you got that, and he can throw the ball. We're not just harping on the run. The man threw the ball. It wasn't like he just ran out there for 200-something yards and had a couple plays here and there. He threw the hell out the ball, man.
He had pocket presence. He was And look, here's a funny thing. They talked about, I don't know if you saw the first half of the show, but I was talking about, he compared the template to Levi Lewis, which is his quarterback in Louisiana. And they kind of asked, like, hey, what are they going to be your packages? And he's like, well, we don't want to, release the blueprint out to the streets. I'm like, Billy, the Miami coach told us what you were running the first 5 plays of the game. Everybody has the blueprint, all right? You're not giving any secrets away. I promise you. I thought that was pretty funny. But
even when I watched the game, some plays, if you see my cast, I knew what was going to happen. But when you can know what's going to happen and still can't stop it, that's the greatest feeling ever. And I hope we can continue to do some of that. But that calls for high-level execution, high-level coaching. And DJ just gives us that extra wrinkle when things break down. He can do something, and that's what I like.
So I brought some film this time, Mr. Stephen Harris.
Okay?
Hey, it's just clips, it's pictures. This is from Gator Nation Football Podcast. This guy does a phenomenal job breaking down the offense and the defense. If you're a football nut, you will enjoy this. It just gives you a different perspective. And I want to preface this before we dive in. I just have snippets. I didn't want to clip the whole thing. I don't know what's allowed and not allowed, but he talks about how he judges the film. So he judges it from an NFL mindset and the perfect mindset. Like when you're going through a read or through a progression, what is the perfect way to do this? Not necessarily
Right.
what happens in a game, but what is supposed to when you coach this is how it's coached, this is how it should be executed, this is why we run this
Progression.
play, is so it goes to this receiver, right? So
Mhm.
he's breaking this down, and he even admits, he goes, look, DJ does not do the right read. And so when I first heard that, I go, okay, this is where I think we're probably Napier saying like, hey, he's not, this is where people can argue he's not ready. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna counter that, because that's what I do here, boys.
For
This
sure.
is the play. So we've got Aiden Mizell. This is Aiden Mizell's touchdown, by the way, at the top of the key, the top of the map. And what his is basically just a stop and go, right? Hitch route. And so he's saying right now that you can tell that corner is playing pretty deep, so he probably isn't going to bite the hitch, right? Which is stop and go, which means that go isn't going to probably be open because of how far back he's playing. But you can see right off the line that this safety here, 24, is playing so far back that you're going to have one of these two guys wide open. One of these two should be open. Look at this. First read is Aiden Mizell, then it's over here, okay? This is kind of the setup here. The next screen, bunch of colories, but you can see he's looking at Mizell. Mizell turns around for the hitch. The cornerback, and he's breaking this down, is too far back, which tells you the go is probably not there anymore because the corner didn't bite, whether he just didn't play it well or he knew it was coming, so he stayed off of it because he didn't take the
already
bite.
in bail, yeah.
So that means, okay, Lagway needs to look back, which he does. He snaps back right away, which pulls that top safety over, which then kind of leaves the go open, but that go's going to be tight. Eugene Wilson's a wide ass open. The entire time, Eugene's like this. Jumping up and down. If you watch the film, it's hilarious. He's like literally waving, like, looking around like, yo, what's up? I'm wide open. And
you normally would have got the ball if Mertz was there.
Oh,
the
Mertz
ball
slings it to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't even think about it. He steps up into the pocket, and okay, so here's the thing. So here he steps up into the pocket. Here's the next play. You can barely see it at the top of the screen, but you can see as he's stepping up, DJ steps into the pocket. Mizell's up there. The cornerback's on him, but DJ's like, I know Mizell, the fastest kid alive.
We hip to hip. He's open.
And this is where some people are like, oh, these are wide open throws. This throw was an absolute dime in the breadbasket, and then a compliment to Aiden Mizell to get last-minute separation. I call them quiet hands, the Devontae Adams hands, where the last minute you pull your hands out so the cornerback doesn't know it's coming, boop, boop, in for the end zone, steps up, makes an incredible throw. I mean, this thing, he throws from the 50 or 45 to the end zone. Ball lands in the end zone. And I mean, I'm talking about a dot. And the whole time, look at Eugene's hands. What's up, baby?
Yeah.
Now, here's where I'm saying that I love this. It's 2nd and 2. This is when you do that. This is when you take that opportunity. This is when you know I've got the fastest man alive on that sideline right now. There is nobody on this football field that can guard him. Okay? I don't care that he didn't bite. I know he's going to get past him. I know that with everything in my heart. And if I don't get him now, I'll run for 2 yards in the next one. I do not care.
Sure.
But we're 2nd and 2. Let me go get it. Not to mention we're
on the other side of the 50 too. You're on the other side of the 50. It's 2nd and 2. You got it. It's shot for sure.
It's a no-brainer. And that's where, for me, that's the gamer, right? This is where I talk about with Graham Mertz being that Indian-esque mindset where he's going to follow the rules, which I love. I think that's important too. You need to have a nice dosage of it. But we've been lulled to sleep by guys following the rules. Okay, I need a little swagger on the football field, baby. That's what DJ Lagway brings to the table.
Yeah, because even if you take the check down, he gets it. Say he gets out of bounds right here. You almost kill now your shot plays, your deep shots. Like you can't come back.
You get into that weird area.
It's too tight now. So the best time to do it is right where we're at. For him to take that shot. Now, of course, he's wide open, but you get a man hip to hip. He could tell with the coverage that he had that man open. That's why he didn't come off of it. Even though he was playing back deep, you think he runs that hitch, he got to come up, and that's how he allowed Mizell to get hip with him.
And again,
once
he pulls the safety off. He knows he's got one-on-one coverage. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I want the fastest. Right. The guy, he's 6'3" in Mizell. He's got speed, height. You got everything that you want. Now it's on me to throw a good ball and on him to catch the ball. Guess what? I threw a perfect ball. He makes a great catch. Touchdown for the boys. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't have the clip. We didn't pull this clip. The Tank Hawkins clip is incredible because it literally is like he lines up I've seen this play 1,000 times. Everybody goes, tight end rolls out. Mertz throws the tight end 98.9% of the time. Cool. We get 5 yards, we move the football down the field. We go 3 and out the next 3 plays. Besides the point. Take Hawkins takes off. I don't even think DJ even looked left or right because he's like, you're not catching this guy. Double covered. I mean, an absolute
Tyreek Hill type stuff. Yeah.
Look, I always say Tua. I'm not sold on Tua. The guy has the 2 fastest wide receivers in the world. Just
for sure.
Somebody's down there. Let it ride, baby.
Yeah.
Let it ride. And like that's where it's
right
like, dude.
Yeah.
When you have somebody like that, they can make such a huge impact. And again, Mertz probably misses that throw. We've seen it. They missed it with Badger. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Mertz. I don't want this to be I love Mertz. Mertz will forever be a Gator for my heart for what he did last year.
For sure.
And I thought, I was high on Mertz, but he concerned me game 1. He just didn't look composed. He didn't look comfortable out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah, no, man, I love it. Give DJ the ball, man. Let him shred it up, man. He just has a different arm. His touch for the deep ball is obviously better. You know what I mean? He throws a great deep ball. I love it.
Levi just said, I told $81 on Prize Picks over triple win. Whoop. Okay, Levi, go smash the like button.
Let me hold something.
You know hey, so real quick though, can I get a review on my review? How'd I do? I mean, now I can't take full credit. I kind of just reiterated what he said.
Did good though. Yeah,
but I mean, I gave you my color analysis. You know what I mean? My color commentary.
I love your counter.
Thank you.
I love your counter. Yeah, you did great.
Thank you.
You know, this is a way to play football. You go through, of course he's open, kid, but you want to take them shots. Sometimes you gotta wait. He would have been open all day. So you could throw it now, throw it later. But we got the touchdown out of that one. It was a big play.
I'm trying to find your footage now. That's not it. Did I not bring it over?
Possibly.
Wow, rookie mistake here, boys. I got it right here. It took me 2 seconds.
Yeah, and this footage,
go ahead.
What I sent you is just a couple plays. Obviously, we didn't have the full game breakdown, but just a couple plays of stuff I like, differences I seen, and the way we played, and obviously a couple other plays you'll see shortly.
Excuse me.
Let's see if we can. Which clip is this? This is something we have to clean up. This clip here,
Okay.
Just losing contain. We did it a lot the first game, losing contain. Not sure if we're not understanding what's going on defense, or we just making mistakes individually. If it's something we called and they're not understanding, we're making mistakes individually. This is like last game. TJ is in a pill technique. Cersei at the top. He's at the top. If the running back goes out, he's in the peel technique. He takes him. So we're adding the blitzer. Yeah, we're adding the blitzer to the rush. So he did the right thing here. You get a great play where Sapp comes through the middle, but down here at the bottom with Boone and Gums. I'm not sure if Gums got confused because right here looks like he's what he did in the beginning of the play is like we're running a game here to where it's like a gap exchange where Boone should go through the B gap but still half contain.
Like he should rotate out more.
Yeah, he should be coming through the B gap, but coming wide to where he's on the outside shoulder of the quarterback, so where he still can keep contained.
And he went way too far left. Yeah.
Right. But obviously he gets sealed in there. So I'm not sure if Gums didn't do the right thing here by running the game and going all the way across the field.
Well, it looks
so I'm not sure if he just got confused between him and Cersei what their assignments were supposed to be. Because we should never have a guy containing right here on this play, and it messed up a great opportunity. It's 3rd and 8 here. You get Sapp coming through clean. We just have a man right here containing. We pull the quarterback up. He makes an errant throw, possibly could throw an interception, or we get the sack here. But that little confusion, it's showing up too much for me as far as our contain assignments or who has contains when we're doing this peel technique to one of our defensive ends or jack position or whatever they call it, the end man on the line of scrimmage.
It seems like Gums is just doing too much work here.
It's almost like he wants to chase the back across. Like he's not sure if he was supposed to have him when they called it. the blitz because it's a peel technique by one of the ends. And depending on what side of the back is on, you're supposed to take him. Obviously, the back is on Cersei's side, so if he flares out, Cersei takes him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Gomes thought that, okay, the blitz is on. If it was on my side, I got to take him, or he got confused somewhere, or whatever it is. But if that was the case and he got confused, he messed up. But if he didn't get confused and they were running the game, then you got to get Boone through that gap. And if he can't get through that gap, he has to fight his way to get outside to contain. And
I think
it just didn't happen.
Gates here in the secondary, 13. I don't think he was supposed to take this tight end because look, the tight end's wide open here on the crossing route.
Yeah, and it's open both ways here. I mean, you got that route open. The quarterback obviously kept running. He could have threw it to him. He was open forever. So that got to be cleaned up. There's too much confusion there. You can't lose that contain like that and got a guy running free. That was the most glaring play on defense to me that stood out, where we just looked totally lost. Okay. And another team probably takes great advantage of us with that. I didn't like that at all. So we got to clean that up. We must have contain at all times on the quarterback. And it showed up last week, and it showed up again here this week. Just a little confusion where you're not sure what's going on, and we gotta get that down pat.
Yeah, because again, people are gonna say that's on play calling, but it looked like the mix match and obviously them filling the gaps allowed for Sapp to break through because of the blitz on Shamar. But like you said, you lose you gave up a whole one side there, and that doesn't seem like it's a play calling thing. That's a player thing.
No.
People are still gonna say
player thing. Execution right there. Somebody messed up. I can't tell exactly who it was it's either between Gomes and Boone, but they'll work that out. We'll get that covered because that's a fantastic play. Sapp did a great job. You get all that effort, you know what I mean, coming up the middle in less than 2 seconds. Quarterback don't know what to do. That's a great time for us to get maximum pressure, either get the sack or he just makes an erratic throw and we come up with a nice turnover. But we got to clean that stuff up on defense. But that was just one thing that I saw on defense that I wanted to make sure I pointed out because you got guys open, tight ends running free. That was busted.
That was on
Gates. Across the board.
That was on Gates, it looked like.
But here on this play, if you go back to the beginning, this is a great job by Cam Jackson. One, I can tell he studied the film. He kind of knew what they were doing in this situation here. Obviously, he could tell that the guard was sitting back in his stance. And I know he knows because immediately when the ball snapped, although he is taking a stunt step, you got 24 coming inside. The line should be slanting to the right. He swipes the center hands because he's in the left A gap. So his job is to get to the right A gap. And immediately off the snap of the ball, he knows that the center doesn't know what he's doing, but the guard is sitting back. So he's expecting that guard to pull. He swipes the center hands down, gets in the gaps, chase it down. You got Gomes setting the edge here. Just a fantastic play for you got a big man like Cam, 6'6", 6'7". I don't know how tall he is. Taller than me. I'm 6'5". Running down the line. Hell of a play. And it lets me know that he's watching film. Because if you pause it at the beginning of the play, if you can, before they even start moving, I know I did a little edit. You see how far that right guard is sitting back in his stance? He almost has his helmet at the butt of the center. That's an indicator for Cam that, hey, this guy's got to be pulling. You know what I mean? And so he's able to cross face of that center, follow the track of the ball.
So he knows this play is going to his right.
He knows it.
So he's not falling for any of this bullshit.
And you know it because he's not trying to make contact with the center. He didn't come off and try to. First of all, if he's over the guard, he's in the left A gap. He's supposed to be making contact with the guard, but he has his right hand down, so he should be making contact with the center if he's playing that A gap like that, and not in two. He's not two gapping the guard, so he's over the center instead of smashing the center. He can tell that they're pulling. Least contact possible. I want to get into that lane. So he does a nice move, swimming at the center, getting into the backfield. And that just let me know that these guys are studying. They're watching the film. And that's a good sign.
Some positivity to go off of. There we go, boys.
Let's go. I wanted to look for stuff that would show me that they're being engaged and that they're active in what they're supposed to do from last game. You know what I mean? And that they're being taught and they're watching the film. And plays like that let you know that they're actually watching film and getting keys on what the teams like to do. And that's great.
What's we got here?
Let's see. Oh, this is the nice punch out by Marshall here. We set the edge here. It was a great job by Marshall setting the edge, turning everything back in. But for him to get off the block, man, it's a smart play. He gets off the block, and you can see him with that left hand punch the ball right out. He's still engaged with a guy, but it's a smart play, great play. You need turnovers, you know what I mean? And to be active with his hands, hitting the ball, that's big time football right there. You still engaged with a guy. You did your assignment, making him cut back in. You know you probably can't make this tackle clean, but you still have it in your mind. Let me affect this play. Let me reach for the ball. And little stuff like this, man, it's big in games, in any game. You know what I mean?
Marshall's been balling, man. He was the highest rated PFF on our defense, and he led the team in tackles yesterday. Solo tackles.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't.
Saturday.
I had no idea.
That's what I'm here for.
That's dope, man. But yeah, just him doing that, man. A smart play, and we got guys flying to the ball, which is awesome. I love to see. So that's big.
What we got here?
And here, this is another play with Cam. This is the beginning of that play where Marshall makes the fumble. But you got Cam. Go back to the beginning if you can stop here. So you got Cam. He's on the right side of the center, so he's in that A gap. But he's taking a slant step or a rock step. So his left foot that's back. He's supposed to step to the left to get to that A gap to the opposite A gap of that center. But he knows that if he's to the short side of the field, so if he steps that way and the guard goes that way, all he has to do is just put pressure on that way. And you don't want to get washed down. You want to take that step to the left and get upfield into your gap, just in case the ball get ready to come back the opposite way. And here, just for him being a tall guy, he's 6'7". He wins the pad level here, but immediately his strength, you can see how he snaps the center, got the center straightened up, snaps his back. I just like to see that activity from a big guy underneath. Just see how man, he jacks the center up like he's a little kid. And so that's
to go.
Yeah, I like seeing that type of energy from us. Remember, I talked about us smashing offensive linemen and playing physical. That's what you need to see. And this is a play where he's taking a little short step to the left and still able to get pressure on the guy. But you can let it roll, and you'll just see him snap the guy. I think I did it like a couple times in a row. Look, just kind of let it play. You'll see him snap him back. I like seeing that from as far as the defensive line, you manhandling a guy up front. And this guy know Cam is big. And, he barely takes a step to try to get Cam out of there, but he still can't. I just like seeing that up front and that type of energy. So I put that on there to highlight Cam. The strides he's made. And here, on this play here, should have been a holding call. This is the same as that play. This center holding Shamar. Look at this. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so he's already in position. He has his gap. He's on the outside of the guy. He's chasing the ball. He should be free. This guy just yokes him. There's no flag here. It's ridiculous. Horrible officiating, not getting this call because there's no way this guy should have. And I just had to make sure. I know people was going to be watching that clip and seeing Shamar on it and be like, oh, he got folded up. No, the man was holding. So I had to make sure I vindicate him of that play. But overall, I like the improvements that I seen for the defense. What I will say about the game is I don't like the third quarter how we came out, giving them cushion for them to get the ball roll. I know we were up. We trying to get them to get the balls in their hand. We make the tackle, get the clock rolling down. But I just like to smother the team. You know what I mean? We already up. Let's not give them no cushion. Let's not give them no life because things start to happen after that. After that, we end up getting a penalty during the third quarter or something and allowed them to go down and score. You know what I mean? Right after our offense had just scored a touchdown, our objective should have been, hey, let's get them the ball back as fast as possible so we can go score again. But we got a little lackadaisical to me in the play calling as far as how much cushion we were giving these guys. I understand you're not trying to get people hurt. You want to get out the game. Let's smother people. We don't have time to take those luxuries as if we've arrived and say, okay, let's just make it out the game. No, let's continue killing people. And so when we get to the fourth quarter, we're up by a lot, and all freshmen can play.
We need to tap into that a little bit. I mean, cut loose and taste the blood. You know what I mean? Like not like let's save it. Yeah. We need to taste it.
Not right now. We're not there yet to where we should be saving anything. Yeah. And also, I do want to highlight George Gomes played a hell of a game, setting the edge for us. Tyreek Sapp played fantastic. Big Cam played fantastic. It was great seeing LJ out there with the guys at the same time. Dontre Robinson, freshman defensive tackle. I saw him, big 35. One play, he got off the ball so fast. I was like, whoa, who is that? Who is 35? Oh, that's Robinson. Yeah, he was
True
moving.
freshman.
Yeah, flying off the ball. The type of defensive tackle that I like, that's ready to make some contact with people. So it was dope. Seeing all those guys in there together. It was play with him and LJ on the field at the same time, which was awesome for us to get a chance to do. Seeing Greg Smith come in, getting some burn
Looked
at the
good.
safety position. He's going to be fantastic for us. True freshman out there getting plays. I expect him to continue to making strides. I know he was up to second string on the list. First game, I think he had like a little hamstring injury or something like that, so he didn't play. But it's great to have him back out there playing. Can't wait to see how he produces for us. And offensive line. No, they gave George some slack last game for that one play on that interception, but he's been playing great for us right now. In these past 2 games at that guard position, pulling, he's a lot more active and he seems a lot more aggressive out there. Just watching how he's playing, finishing blocks, and the tenacity that he's playing with, I really like that. So I think it's going to be great.
They need
And the
somebody
tight
big on
end
that
position
O-line.
showed up. Tight end position showed up this week in their blocking assignments. Hansen had some great catches, and also Tony Livingston. He's our third tight end on there, but on that last fourth quarter, third quarter, he had some key blocks on 2 of the touchdowns. He was had a key block on both of those touchdowns. He's a great blocker. He can catch the ball as well, but I know he plays with that edge that we need, that aggression that we need to make some of these blocks. And so to see that was great.
Love it. I mean, a lot of positive things. It's just Sanford, but there were some. I think that we probably overreacted from week 1. I mean, rightfully so. But they were going to come into a true test with Texas A&M. We'll talk about that game more on Wednesday. Obviously, we've been hearing about the defensive guru mindset, but I also know that there's a lot of former Gators on that team, so that should be some positive. I think it was Tyreek Sapp. I think quotes. He said he told Trey Webb, if you see Scuba Williams or Jadon Hill, just run right at him.
Right at him.
I love
Yeah,
that.
run right at him.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that you said it too.
Yeah.
CTNCS Gator says $20. Thank you, man, for the super chat, baby. Says question for the champ. He's talking to me. I'll take this. Says what's your take on the unnecessary roughness call against Marshall tossing a dude down?
I didn't like it. I understand. I guess they saying we can't suplex, body slam, choke slam people no more. So I guess that was the penalty. But the initial call was saying that it was after the play. I didn't think the whistle had blown fast enough for him not to complete that motion. But if we can't slam people no more, I guess I loved it. I had wish he put him up 2 more inches in the air. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm all for it. But if it's a penalty and it's gonna hurt us, don't do it. But I don't mind the aggression. That's natural for somebody
It's better than the roughing the
trying to
passer
gain
calls,
yards
like
and try to pull them
the late
backwards.
hits.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. Slam them again.
I love it. Well,
And
boys,
then somebody frog splash. If you can throw somebody else in the air and they can Ray Mysterio Jr. frog splash them, yeah, that'll be
WWE
great.
type shit. Well, boys, I
Yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed the show. Almost 400 strong. Be sure again to smash the like button, subscribe. We're on the way to 22,000 subs. Our hour is up. We've got to move on from this segment here. We got producers yelling as they get off the stage here. No, I'm just kidding. But look, good show as always. Thank you to the champ for coming on here. Be sure to give the champ a follow on his YouTube page and on X, all under famous with a couple dots in there. But be sure to go subscribe to his channel as well, boys. But good stuff all in all. Great conversation per usual. We love you, boys.
Man. Go Gators.
Use the code HIGHTOP at Prize Picks. Peace and love, baby.